Yay, we are live. Hello and welcome to the wonderful world of the internet. Sometimes the internet is not wonderful, but here it always is because we have wonderful art to share. Today's show is brought to you by our wonderful supporters from Patreon and viewers like you. I'm glad you're joining us from whatever you're joining us from. This show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. Boo! Everyone say boo!
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 Every contribution given helps RichOak Events plan and budget to ensure that we can continue to pay our featured artists, support local fledgling writers, and provide a space for the East Bay community to enjoy live art, and also do that virtually so that people can join from literally all over the globe. So we, of course, want to thank these folks individually. We want to thank all of our patrons, in particular, Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, Emily Chow, Kayla Lilly for being regulars. Thank you, Jessica Kozik for sponsoring one of our weekly writing workshops. And a special thank you to Alice Grimm for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Alan Bluford Center. If you enjoy what you're seeing or just love the arts or believe in the reparation and liberation of the oppressed people globally, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events. It's also linked in our link tree. You can sign up for different tiers of support from, I think our lowest tier is $2 all the way up to $100 a month. You get different perks with each of them, like a special social media shout out when we go live and at our events. Contributions you help us meet our goals, pay our venues, and give back to our community. If this interests you, head over to patreon.com/RichOak Events, or you can donate to us one time via Cash App, hashtag RichOak Events, or on Venmo at RichOak Slam. Thank you for your support, and on with the show. So we have a small but mighty list tonight. I'm very excited for these poets. But first, we actually have our feature going first to kick off the night. I have this awesome ass bio for this feature. I have also had the pleasure of seeing them live at Oakland Slam pre-COVID, and also virtually at other events. I'm very excited to hear them again. Our feature tonight is Asha. Asha is a queer, disabled, multidisciplinary artist, abolitionist educator, and a child of the East African Desi diaspora, currently located in the Bay Area of California. She has been featured on the cover of Content magazine, KQED Arts, and many of the prominent poetry events in the Bay Area, as well as an active speaker, MC, and performer at numerous rallies and marches for civil and human rights. Her Tedx tells her own personal story of identity through poetry. That's cool. I want the link to that. She published Crawling in My Skin in 2019. I have that book. That would be my cat not understanding how the internet works. Published Crawling in My Skin in 2019, a Kafkaesque exploration of the mind and mental health through metaphor of ants, which was featured by Brown Girl Mag in 2021. And her latest book release, Not Your Masi's Generation, a memoir-like workbook that tackles mental health and healing from intergenerational trauma. Currently, she is using the book to run workshops with students in order to support their emotional learning and build the bridge between academics, the arts, and mental health. Asha was a public school teacher for the last 10 years in the Bay Area until she lost her job defending students who were abused by SROs. Boo SROs. She trains teachers throughout California on educational equity, policy, and healing. That's awesome. Her dream is to establish her own K-12 school rooted in restorative practices, art, and social justice-based standards. We need more of those. Asha consistently uses her platform to voice out against injustice and to speak up for those who've been marginalized and silenced for centuries. Unmute yourselves and cheer for our feature of the night, Asha.
Woo! Woo!
Yes. Yay.
Yo, after the first lick, someone once told me my pussy tasted like chai. I love your Indian side, they said. Exotic, ambiguous brown skin whispered microaggressions. My lips reminded them of jalebi sweetness. Lakshmi luck kiss too intimidating for bland palates. This spice is not suited for the weak. Many in attempts to capture, like Indiana Jones and to colonize, only to realize these eyes will turn you to stone. And amongst a sea of bones genetically ligamented into the present, tendency to tear down any attachment to community comes down to a sense of absence. You see, it's muscle memory into being forgotten. Thin glimpses of chance turn into walls built so thick, skin knees get so weak and open to understand unwarranted advances being seen. It's recognized for once despite scar tissue trauma, but shit, it was never the intention to hide. Self aimlessly wandering, wondering when I'll be found, mind spun around like Garbuzz, still dizzy from questioning values some call tradition. But this is not your Masi's generation. Expectations falling short. This unknown skin is more familiar with being other than being safe, with being comfortable, more comfortable, agitated, lost tongues translated into disappointment, disjointed strands of silk saris, unable to say sorry in Gujarati, so they think I'm just entitled. Dialed into attempts at recognition, denial seeks to find false pathways for admission, but it seems like it's never enough. Exotified to the point where genetics will forever be in question. Circling back to points too tight to swerve, lineage only drawn straight when I'm letting someone down or when someone's going down and I become the fantasy. This regression into ecstasy to be seen seems to stifle actuality, but shit, at least some part of me remembers. Other than the exile, silencing, and servitude and subordination, at least some part of me remembers the ancestry. Remembers rose water and mango trees and tribes of women with trajva head to toe. Remembers masala ratios and saffron royalty. My pussy might taste like chai, but my chai doesn't taste like home. Nor are my rotlis round enough to supplement the lack of comfort in a room full of marigolds. I like to start with that one to balance out the bio. You know, that should like sound mad prestigious and shit, but you know, like kick you in the face real quick with it.
Fire.
I appreciate it. What's good, Oakland Slam? It's good to be here, to be in some space with y'all. I really appreciate it. Me and Oakland Slam got a weird relationship. Every time I feature at Oakland Slam, some weird shit goes down. So I think this space is safe. I feel good with it. You know, like I don't know if I just jinxed myself, but I'm hoping not. No, I'm really here to just have a good time with y'all and share some space and listen to some poems and read some poems. What should I say? If you fuck with me, yeah, and you want to know more, you can check me out at Instagram on Asha_poet, ASHA. And then you can also check out my website, ashapoet.com. But yeah, so I have a couple books and I was like, maybe I should read some B-sides because you don't ever get to do that at a slam. You always got to read your hitters and shit. So I'm going to read some B-sides for us from my book. So I'm going to start with the first one, coming from Crawling From My Skin. And it's a book about ants. Yeah, so my house was infested with ants for like 5 years and I tried everything. I did hella shit to get rid of them. Like, you know, people do the natural thing, put some clove oil, some cinnamon, some cayenne, you know. Nah, they fucking took all that shit. They made horchata and salsa and they're having like, you know, parties up in the walls. It took forever for me to get them out. And like, things got so weird. Like I was talking to them, they were talking back, and I ended up writing some poems about it. And it sort of falls into that mental health space. But yeah, I've been told it's kind of Kafkaesque, you know, a maze with no way out and a bunch of dead ends. I've also been told it's very relatable. And shout out to El Siete for doing my cover for me. That's my dude. Yeah, I'm gonna hit this one. My dreams are filled with ants, inescapable, crawling all over insecurities, eased in everyday nightmares, forged together with doubt despite structural soundness. The sounds of silence surround the absence of reasoning. They're everywhere. Having survived centuries of being ignored without being given a name, existence of a feeling before foundation, existence of a structure without design, blueprinted into tangible emotions without gas to light its shape. They're everywhere. In waking life, they appear as if a deception of inception infiltrated reality, ensued into casually living amongst the yearning to be dead without realizing it. Phantom legs tickled against confidence, like shoulders looked over in disbelief. They're everywhere. And you know, the next one I kind of wanted to get into is it's from my other book. It's called Not Your Masi's Generation. It you know, I'm an educator, and so I couldn't write this dead end, no way out book on depression and not kind of, you know, give myself and others reading an option and a way out. So it was really important for me to make a book that yes, has poetry, but it's also a workbook. It's got comics in it, and it kind of walks folks through having and unpacking some difficult conversations that a lot of us have been for a lot of different reasons, struggling to have with ourselves, with our families, with our multi-generational families around mental health. And yeah, as was mentioned in the bio, I'm proud to say that we have a curriculum and it's being used in high schools because damn, if I was able to have this conversation with folks, you know, when I was 13, 14, a lot would be different, right? And so then that opportunity too for that youth to be able to have that conversation with their parents, with their aunties, with their uncles, with their grandparents, and be the facilitators of that and the distributors of that knowledge and that consciousness and self-reflection. Gives me just, you know, a little goosebumps just thinking about it. But yeah, in my culture, a Masi means an auntie, right? So Not Your Masi's Generation is a deliberate attempt to do things differently than some of the things that we've been passing on. Be really intentional about that. So a lot of the times in this development of this book, I had to think about some of my own experiences and engagement with my family, trying to have some of these conversations and the struggle really of having to acknowledge the limitations that generations before us have had really, and the privileges that we have moving forward. And so this is a conversation between me and my grandmother. And we call our grandmother Ba. I asked her, in broken Gujarati and English, needing my mother to fill voids of words we both didn't understand, Ba, if you could have anything with your life, money, family, tradition aside, what would you have wanted to do? Questions, lost in translation, not for lack of words, but for lack of dreams. Confusion and context unknown and inconceivable. The perplexed look on her face sent me into internal tears, tearing at my soul, knowing she was never fully given hers. Identity that would never belong to her because she was always owned. Belonged to families she had never met. Ba came from extreme poverty in Kenya. With the loss of her mother at the age of 2, the remarriage of her father and subsequent step siblings to follow, she was a pawn. Trading card. Not a rare hologram demanding recognition of value and fairness at 15, a dowry that would never be enough, drowning in suffocation. She never had a voice, told this family has more than we do. It will be a better life for you than it would be here. Besides, there's so many other kids we have to care for. Given to in-laws that would doubt her contribution, claiming tainting and devaluing of caste pride, constantly looked down upon, constantly striving for acceptance, forced to learn the new ways of a family who had more than she ever did, as to denounce her own poverty-stricken shame. So when I asked her, what are your life dreams? She had no answer. No conception of a dream without responsibility, without expectation, without reins. Rain would come and fall, but she never learned what control felt like. So when I asked her, Ba, what are your life dreams? Immediately, she wished for her family to be taken care of, to not have to worry if her children could afford rent that month. I tried to construct a fantasy in which all of those responsibilities were no longer hers to bear, and that there was no religious constraint on her ability, that she could do anything in the world, that her illiteracy would be non-existent, and anything she could imagine would be possible. And again, what are your life dreams? Being asked to answer a question in which even your utopian society structured itself in such a way that you remain the servant she didn't know how to answer. Tried again. After some prompting, some vague suggestions, I asked her, Ba, if you could have done anything with your life, money, family, tradition aside, what would you have wanted to do? And her answer, more telling than reality. She said she would want to help others, help children, elders, build a home for those without, provide care for those without. I wanted to cry, but I had to hold it in because all she has ever known was living for someone else. And I wanted to ask her, who has ever cared for you? But there was no point in asking a question that you already knew the answer. No one had ever cared for her or asked her what she wants or what she thinks or what she dreams. It was never an option. I had one more question. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? And without thought, as if second nature, as if her dreams were more like nightmares, she easily answered, Kenya, home. Desire to return after exile has haunted her ever since that day in 1972, wishing to have never seen the refugee camps, the Air France rescues to escape decapitation and slaughter. She came from poor, low-caste family, but in Uganda, in Tanzania, in Kenya, she lived. She didn't dare to dream once they barely evaded Idi Amin because life still belonged to her, and that was enough. Want go home, she says. And this time, I can't stop the crying. And I have to excuse myself and leave. All right, y'all. I'm gonna leave you with one more. I see you, Billy,
that was
out
amazing.
there. I see you, brother Billy, out there.
Damn.
Brother, I want to dedicate this last one to you, okay? Because I don't think we've ever really had the privilege of meeting, but I know we run in spaces with family. And so to your family, to your baby girl that you just raising, and I love all the things that I get to see over these webs and the internet, man, fuck the internet, but also thank God for the internet in these ways. So yeah, just to everyone raising a young girl out there, I'm gonna leave y'all with this one so y'all can get this slam going. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's work. Baby hairs. Instructed to be trained, taught to lie flat, taught to forget the past. Ancestral stories long forgotten, like Peter Pan refusing to grow up, baby hairs remain in infancy, terrified of society's products designed to make its visibilities reduced to tired long days and excuses for being angry. You know, I used to stare into the mirror, plucking each one that refused to comply, rejecting the expectations I tried to impose upon its genetics. They just didn't get it. The remarks, the microaggressions, the miseducations I received growing up in neighborhoods and ideologies that told me I needed to normalize kink and avoid natural curl that you labeled distorted. I'm sitting for hours, asking for help because self-hate manifested its means into heating irons, frying strands of hair, begging them to assimilate. Straightening the wave of discrimination, masking my identity to prove a space worthy of being given attention, and shit, given attention I was. Convinced that kinks in my hair compressed the ability for others to see my value. deciding to commit to chemically coercing every strand of ethnicity and ancestry to become dormant, only to erupt again after several months. And as a recidivist, I killed my zombie-like identity time after time as soon as I felt my social confidence slipping. But I was tripping, falling for a romanticized fantasy that if I just looked more like them, I would finally feel like I belong. But I was wrong. Masks only delayed, derailed conversations, exposing ignorance and ultimate exclusion, proving to me that India Ari is the gospel. While I am not my hair is me. Every knot entangled, every split end confused at which direction to follow, at every road diverged, I have learned to love it all. Summertime sunshine highlights, conversations with ancestors through coconut oil meditations, flowing long braids reminiscing on the strength passed down diasporic journey held together through exile and Holocaust and excommunication and honesty and a discovery of not going down predetermined paths. I am not my hair, but I am proud to say my hair is me. Appreciate y'all, Oakland Slam. One love all day.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you drop a link where we can purchase your books? Also, I'm going to politely bully people and say, buy Asha's book. It's wonderful. Cool. So we have a short list tonight. Before we get into it, we have rules for the poets and the audience. Yes, I am telling you what to do virtually over the internet and what you can do in your own home. But first, for the poets, you have 3 minutes to share whatever you would like with a 10-second grace period. Points will be deducted after that grace period. At 4 minutes, you'll be muted and I will have to come back, maybe surprised and mid-drink of water, and go, oh my goodness, that was a long poem. Cool, thank you. We have open mics where you can go longer than 4 minutes, but unfortunately that is not the space tonight. You might be in your own home, but you do not get props or musical accompaniments or animal acts to join you. I moved so my cat won't bother me. And all of our poets tonight are moving on to round 2. For the audience, first and foremost, like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram, our Twitter, and Facebook, and our YouTube channel. And then once you've done that, go take your partner or a loved one's phone. Don't read through their text messages. That's not a nice thing to do. But open up their Instagram and make sure they're following us, and make sure they're following us on Twitter if they have one, and have them follow us at Bay Poets Unite on YouTube as well. Help us grow our online community and share things you love with ones you love. Comment on the feed. This is the one place I tell people to read the comments because people are so wonderful. We will block you if you are rude and hateful for no reason. And let these poets know how much you love these poems. Folks in the Zoom, we are a small group, but I want to see a mile-long stream of comments on the side of my screen for what you think of other poets. Be more enthusiastic than you would be at a slam in person. Your love and for that poet and poem has to stretch across the internet and reach them, which means you need a lot more of it. And of course, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. Have those conversations with folks after the show on other platforms and other spaces. So, getting into it. We have 3 poets on this list. They will be reading round 1 in this order, and round 2, they're going to be reading in reverse order. So, first up, we have Chev. Then we have the protected poet, and third we have Billy Tuggle. Are we ready to hear these poets?
Sacrifice.
Oh, that's right. We need one of those. Your sacrifice tonight is me. Yay!
Woo!
Thanks. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Great. That would be awkward
Yes.
if you couldn't have heard me before. When I tell you my brain is like Internet Explorer, what I mean is it takes a little longer for me to tell you where I left something because I have to remember I took it out of the cupboard, I dropped it, I picked it up, I walked into the other room, which is probably where it is now. Unsure, please wait for that page to load fully. And logically, I know this is a terrible analogy because no one uses Internet Explorer. Instead, they immediately replace it with something reliable. And some computers don't even come with Internet Explorer. And even so, it's a very niche demographic who know. But fuck your logic. I want an artistic comparison because it doesn't need to be for anyone but me. And of course, I need to stop what I'm doing to think through everything, to tell you where I left something, which is why my clothes are on the floor. And my left shoe is nowhere near my right shoe. And I only cleaned up half the recycling. And wait, yes, that thing you need is definitely in the other room.
Yeah.
Yay! Judges, I need your scores for that sacrifice. Score on a 0.0 to a 10.0. Stay consistent is the most important thing.
Do I message that to Elle or do I like put it in the public chat?
Yes, you would message that to Elle directly.
Thank you.
Yes. And then after each poet, Elle will give me the total score for that poet and we will announce it and either cheer for it if it's wonderful or more than likely boo for it because not everyone got all 10s and everyone deserves 10s. Yes, sway the judges. Put in the comments that you think every poet deserves a 10 because everyone got up here and shared something and that is wonderful. But on deck, we have the protected poet, and coming up to the stage, we have our very first poet of the night. Everyone cheer for Chev. Woo!
All right.
Woo!
Let's go. Dr. King once said that if it falls your lot in life to be a street sweeper, you go forth and sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures, like Beethoven composed music, and like Shakespeare wrote poetry. You be the best at whatever you are. You just take pride in your work. Because depression come when ain't no pride left to take. You see, 25 years ago, it felt my lot to be a nigga. 5 years ago, it felt to be a dropout. 4 years ago, it felt to be homeless. I felt a lot. Till it felt my lot to be a poet. Slam for food money, sometimes in packed venues, most times in packed train cars, all times in ugly mirrors, just trying to see myself be good at something. I felt in love with my train car stage. Some days I wanted to stand on the track and give it a kiss. I performed in only the most gentrified of areas to avoid anyone I knew. Places where everybody's favorite poem, just something about black kids dying, painting strange fruit. The only way I know they would feed a starving artist. So I turned my notebook pages back into the trees we hung from, hope that the firewood just keep me warm at night. A white woman hands me $1, turns to her daughter and tells her I am the most talented bum she's ever seen. Better than every hoodlum rapper on this train yesterday. And I'm wondering how pretty I must have made both of our deaths sound. Wondering if plucking bodies from pavement to make my meal make me a street sweeper or some kind of vulture, but my thoughts keep getting drowned out by the growls of my gut saying, get through the poem. That night, 2 guys pulled a knife on me in the subway. They left my pockets as empty as my stomach. They took my pride, my cell phone, and some white woman's dollar. The police asked me if I was on the way home at the time of the robbery, and I don't know how to tell them that this was a home invasion. And I'm so broke, I'm broken into, and ain't no broom big enough to pick up the pieces. Do you know what it is to lose everything when you already had nothing? Dr. King say, you better sweep streets like an artist, but nobody says a word when when an artist has to sleep in them, when ain't no work to take pride in, when your suicide note is just another poem about a black kid dying, so you paint and write because you know that the moment your pen leaves the page, your body might fuck around and leave the world. I remember I performed a poem the next day that sounded a lot like a train car kiss, a lot like a reason not to be here. A white man hands me $1 and makes me promise him that I won't use him for drugs, and I tell him, this dope I spit don't pay for itself. It's still the best fix for all of my broken. I still want to spit a line so strong that it reminds somebody on their weekdays that there are weekends that you do not have to be this every day. That for some reason God saw it fit to make some people street sweepers and made some people the brooms. But I tell you that you need to fall in love with the dust. You need to fall in love with breathing. You inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale like it is the only thing that has ever mattered to you. And then you find another thing to matter to you. And then you are officially 2 reasons to feel like you are fucking rich. If it falls your lot in life to be a poet, you have to write the get back up. You have to write the you are still here. You have to write the eulogy of everything that has ever tried to kill you, and you title that shit. You're not Beethoven, you music. You're not Shakespeare, your poetry. You're not Michelangelo, but you are all the art that comes with finding all the pride that was in yourself, especially on the days when you need it. Know you're the best at whatever you are. Even if all that still is breathing.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.
Yes. Cheer for the poets. Awesome. Elle, do we have the score for the sacrifice?
Yes, sacrifice score was 26.9.
Ooh, where are the tens? But also, like, as the poet, I feel that was a very valid score for my poem. Cool. We have one more poet in our first round. So on deck, we have Billy Tuggle. But coming up right now, scream and shout for the protected poet.
Let's go.
Woo.
You hear me?
Woo.
We can't hear you. No, it's kind of jumbled.
It still sounds like it's coming through a drive-through.
No, it's still the mic's fizzling. Can you try different mic setting?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better. It's fizzling again.
I can't hear you.
Drink up. You can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. So whatever the setting is now, try to keep it like that.
Yeah, I lost you again.
No, it's still, I think it's, yeah, it seems like at a certain volume, we can't hear you.
What about now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
All right. So do I start from the top with no time or?
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll restart your time and start from the top.
Yeah, I lost you again.
Oh shit.
There you are. I don't know what it is. It keeps going back and forth.
She lied to me when she said she never lied to me. And here I am thinking she was a dream come true. Not true. I still believe dreams come true. Just know nightmares do too. I'm exhausted by horror. Tell me, how can I rest sleeping next to a ghost? I'm tired of this monster's energy, holding my soul hostage in an abandoned, haunted house. Scratch that mouth. I had enough of the cap. I'm clapping back. I told her bravo. I applied your fraud. I gave her a standing ovation for that horrible performance she gave me. The lies she tells and tells fairy tales. On our last date, she didn't show up. When I asked why she pulled no show, you want to know what she told me? She said her cat was having puppies. I said, bitch, no kidding. Dog, I was so ticked I had to flee. This cheetah lion through her saber-tooth in sheep's clothing, pulled the wool over my eyes. I was her sacrificial lamb. She lies down my throat. She's the goat at the seat. I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't cry over spilt milk. And though I spoiled her, Miss Honeybee stinging me with the large hairs. This lady bugged me out. Butterfly, though, it's her deception cuts deep like insections. Saying we twin flames, it's be narcissist. Gaslighting, you liar, twin, you liar, pants on fire. You knew I was supposed to propose, we get engaged, then marriage. Before we could engage in the marriage, you gave up on me. I gave all I could give. I would have gave you my rib, but all you did was give me fibs. Kept your side man in the background like ad-libs, being met like baby bibs. But baby, I dig it. Yeah, I can dig it. Now in the grave is where your chips lays. I'm free though. My love for you ceased and desist. I'm taking back ownership, relationship overseas. That means you're foreign to me. Amigas no bueno. You know, you was my own, you know, my one and only, but I wasn't the only one. To be real, your lies made me realize I found myself when I lost you. Poem.
Amazing. Fuck Zoom and their technological issues. I'm glad we got to hear your poem, and I'm glad you're here tonight. Cool. So, Chev got a 28.0. How do we feel about that score?
Ooh.
Meh.
Let's go, poets.
No, Sally is here. Sally is coming to replace all of us because we are not cheering loud enough. But regardless of the score, what are we gonna do for Chev? Yay, cheers.
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
Ooh.
And a big boo for technological issues, but what are we gonna do for the protected poet tonight?
Let's go, poets.
Exactly,
Ooh, yeah.
Sally. Cool. On deck, we have some announcements before our second round. But coming up to the stage right now, we have our last poet of the first round, Billy Tuggle. Woo!
Yay.
On February 6th, 1967, Muhammad Ali fought Ernie Terrell for the World Heavyweight Championship. Terrell refused to call Muhammad Ali by his chosen name. When he called me out of my name, I took a solemn oath, made a promise. I gave warning that I would whoop the politics out of him. He forgot that I whooped Patterson back to the Middle Passage for such respect. Ernie Terrell could not find my name in his heart, so I tenderized his ribs, played so much percussion on his torso, he thought he was back in the motherland. What's my name? My name is my ancestors mapped the seas that their descendants were shipped across. What's my name? My name is I wish you would call me that one more time. What's my name? My name is 15 rounds of the prettiest combat for his insolence. My name became domination, gladiator, champion, after being called boy, nigger, colored, troublemaker, Muslim, American, traitor, seditionist. These fools didn't even know what to put on the boxing license I fought for the right not to take brown lives, for the right to ply my trade, to apply these hands to any chump who dreamed they could take a round, let alone my dignity. I'm here to wake him up, make him apologize, call me resolute, call me warrior, call another sucker to the ring who needs education by a country kid from Louisville who came to conquer the world. Ernie Terrell came for a fight and arrived at school. My name is Professor. My name is Mr. Griot, pugilist the first. My name always gonna be history, always the future when you say it right, worthy of all praises, most high. Fight fans came to see the unification of boxing's World Heavyweight Championship, but Ernie Terrell's contempt and own self-hate turned prize fight into a holy war.
Woo! Here before Sally does.
Let's go poets.
Yeah, Sally beat you all to it. But cheer. Anyways, Sally should not be the only one cheering. It's okay. My time zone, it's after midnight. Maybe it's late for you and you can't scream and shout. But if you can't scream and shout, show love in the comments. Our last poet, protected poet, got a 25.3. Give it up for the poet, not the score. Thank you.
Let's go poets.
Thank you, Sally. I'm Sally's biggest fan and also have to hate Sally because we should cheer for everyone. Cool. Our round 2 is in reverse order. Elle, can you send me Billy Tuggle's score before we start the second round? And while we're calculating that.
Oh, okay. Yes, I can.
Excellent. But while I wait for that, I have some announcements to make. First of all, we have the coolest thing ever before every show. We have a writing workshop. It is free. You can come to the writing workshop and not the slam. You can come to the writing workshop and the slam. You can come to the writing workshop and compete or be a judge or be one of our volunteers, et cetera, et cetera. You can come to the workshop and take down a really cool poem and ideas and not write. You can come to the writing workshop and take down some cool ideas and hear a cool poem and write. That is my favorite outcome, when folks come and write. But they are free. They happen every third Tuesday of the month before this show on Zoom. That Zoom ID is posted on our social media pages so that you can join beforehand. All of the poets that sign up also get that in an email, as well as instructions on signing up. Come, it's wonderful. They're before every Oakland Slam, every Berkeley Slam. They are done in person and on Zoom. Berkeley Slams are every single Wednesday at the Starry Plow in Berkeley. And that is what I will tease for this round. I have a whole list of shows that we get to plug because we do a lot of other really awesome events. Billy Tuggle's first poem got a 27.8. How do we feel about that score?
Woohoo!
Cool, awesome. How do we feel about that poet getting up and sharing some awesome work?
Woo! Let's go, G.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Right.
Scaring Sally away. Cool. Our round 2 will be in reverse order. So it will be Billy Tuggle, then the protected poet, and then closing out the show is Chev. On deck, we have the protected poet, but coming up to the stage once again, we have Billy Tuggle. Woo!
Ooh, let's go.
Obsidian, a volcanic rock, technically glass, can be as brittle as brilliant, very heavy in large deposits, craft blade dangerous when fresh, too hot to handle, can sharpen to surgical precision. These obsidian weight champions will bring a rock, massive and iridescent, edges so sharp that turntable stylus becomes weaponized. Cuts that your local college DJ can't resist. Broadcasts will come with warning disclaimers. Gonna sound like earth heaving, grace under pressure until magma and steam create a vent the hard way. Megaton blast, radiation and fallout encore. Gonna sound like Shango shaming the devil at a block party at the crossroads. This band is live alligator in your gumbo, rocket fuel in the whiskey, locomotives revving underground, melting the track in their wake. This band gonna sound like the Great Migration through Marshall Stacks. This band gonna be djembe, DJ, and effect pedal, gonna bleed unadulterated acid soul. Hip hop, even if ignored the beat drop. Jazz finger solos, blues tempos, gut bucket woofers, and gospel tweeters. This band gonna be the baddest, like reckless kids cussing at recess with a motherfucking bullhorn. This band gonna escape every attic rehearsal with the taste for riot. A fuse lit by the funk. Hit the switch, hit the goddamn pit. This band sounds like a frontman's last 100 spent on a long distance audition after flunking 2 midterms. Think you can see us in the battle of the bands? You got a problem on your hands. Come and get some of this shrapnel and angst and stomp and sway and all this gravity. See a griot reading news and fortunes in the motion of the mosh, sounding like freeform poetry with ancestors whispering through the monitors. Hit him again, my child. Hit him again. This band will accompany funeral pyre and phoenix rising, gonna sound like sub-Saharan diasporic litanies and anthems. This band gonna sound like lift every voice and chant at the sound, Babylon, your throne are going down. This rock, a fragile danger, gotta be handled with love. We arrive not just to rock a party in all stages of matter, sweating electric current through dark matter, keeping current on dark matters, keeping current while in the dark matters. Like all descendants of Sister Rosetta, the obsidian weights will remix time, shred space, scratch surface to core, ignite the biggest bang with talking drum, lightning fury, and kinetic coda.
Ooh.
Give it up for the poet. Yay, clapping. I also love clapping. If you don't want to scream, you can also clap. Cool. Thank you for gracing our virtual stage. I'm glad you're here. We have 2 more poets left for the night. It has been a short show, but it has been a stacked show. I'm so glad to hear all of these poets. On deck, we have Chev, but coming up next, we have the protected poet. Woo!
All right, go in, poet.
I once was a walking glass house. Throw stones at me, I just may have shattered into 1,000 pieces. Now, I'm a peaceful servant. I've positively rid my hands of all activity. My anxiety has a peace treaty with society. I no longer worry about validations and expectations. I find peace and traveling the roads, enjoying the scenery. I hope you find peace and serenity from now until infinity. Cherish every memory, love every moment, embrace every possibility. With all due respect, protect your peace at all costs, cause it's priceless. My mother always tells me I'm her anointed son, so I shine like last week. I helped a blind lady cross the street. See, that brought us both peace. Last night, I shared a piece of pizza with the homeless man. We sat, ate in peace. As I got up to walk away, he gave me the peace sign. In return, that gave me a piece of mind. I hope you have a peace of mind. If not, you can have a peace of mind. I strive to be sweet as a piece of pie. No matter how you slice it, it's only right I give you the last piece of cake. And no, I am not trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize. I just feel it's noble to bring peace to people's lives. And yes, at times I do want to use my mouthpiece and scream justice, no peace, and still offer peace offerings to peace officers. I'm a peacemaker. It's music in my soul to be in harmony with such instrumental people whom hurt over life's obstacles to accomplish those. But just know, life is never a race. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourselves. Copy? May God bless you all in abundance of blessings to you all. I wish you the best wishes in becoming the best versions of you. Stay into praying, stay into wishing, follow your intuition. Everything you wishing for will come into fruition. I'm living confirmation that affirmations and manifestations exist. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your life is like a puzzle and you still putting pieces together, I hope when I leave you, I've left you with a piece of me. Piece of me. Peace.
Go ahead, poet.
Yay, cheering, and I didn't have to. I'm so excited. We're figuring it out. Awesome. Thank you for gracing our virtual stage. I'm glad you're here. We have one more poet left for the night. Everyone say aw.
Aw.
No way, come on.
I know, but the good news is we have lots of other events where you can see poets. We consult my list. Our next show is actually Wednesday. Oh my goodness, that is tomorrow. This is an in-person show. It is our Berkeley Slam. It is also a competitive slam like tonight. It is in person at the Starry Plow. Yes, no AIs allowed at the Berkeley Slam. We pack a room full of people and it gets loud and wonderful, and it is the best experience ever. I miss being able to go in person, but I still get to join y'all for virtual shows like this. There is a workshop before the show. There is a sign-up list. Get there early and sign up. And the show starts at 8:30. The feature tomorrow is the Berkeley Grand Slam champ is featuring tomorrow, Colin Edmonds. I really hope he wears his macaroni crown for the feature. Yes, so it's great. And then, so yes, that's our next show. But we have one more poet to hear tonight first. So on deck, we have more announcements, finding out who wins. But first, we have, to close out the night, Chev. Woo!
Let's go, Chev.
Let's make a bet. I bet $100 to every dude that can hear my voice right now. I can go outside and find a duck with a bigger dick than you. Oh no, I'm dead serious, dog. I'm from the weird part of YouTube. I found out, do you know that a duck's dick can grow up to 15 inches, twisted, spiked, and corkscrew? And they use that shit more like a weapon than anything you think was for making love or life at all. In response, female ducks evolve their vaginal canals into mazes with twists and turns to stop the sperm of unwanted invaders. I read this and learned how even here, whenever men become animals, it falls on women to evolve past it. 40% of duck sex is forced. 1 in every 4 women is sexually assaulted. A duck's dick is twisted, spiked, and screwed, while twisted men spike drinks to screw a new non-consenting woman every 68 seconds. Evolving don't always look like a maze, but a mace, or a razor blade, or a set of house keys, or stay on the phone with me until the buzzard stops circling. Did you know that both man and mallards are omnivores? We got a tendency to consume everything. We'll ask, what do you bring to the table while trying to put you on it? Plucked, stuffed, and silent while running for Congress in Missouri, Todd Aiken stated in cases of legitimate rape, women magically transform into mechanisms built to prevent their own pregnancies, proving us men only know as much about women's bodies as we freaking do about ducks. But now both the men in Congress and the creep on date night still think a bill make them entitled to your eggs, expects to dictate what comes into your body and comes out of your body, but it's probably part of the 80% of niggas that can't make you come at all. Ask why you come out so late, why you come out dressed like that, why you didn't fly or run or scream. Like patriarchy ain't been trying to snatch the wind beneath your lungs and wings. Every woman I know has got to be aware of birds. Waterfowl trying to make her water break without her consent, because it doesn't matter if you rather row versus wade in the water. If all he think about is drowning, an exception for rape just means you are only allowed to control your body after a man already has. And I am black enough to relate to that, but man enough to still be bird of a feather. Because if I look like a duck and quack like a duck, a woman can't tell me and a rapist apart from across the street, from in Congress, from building a nest in her own family tree. America don't just got a rape problem, the world has got a rape culture. And this time we stop ducking the motherfucking issue, because this is where I got to talk about the nights my mother spent scrubbing feathers from her skin, or that my sister looks at men the way an endangered species looks at a hunting knife. Like that ain't the problem, that the only folks supposed to care about rape either had to just witness or survived it. Our society rather everybody have a story than a voice or a vote or a vested interest in change. Well, Nick, it's duck season, and I'm coming for every bird brain believing this can't happen to us too, believing the propaganda that being a propaganda entitles you to a propaganda goose that don't belong to you. Even if we gotta hold the clippers to hold these niggas accountable on behalf of every woman who's ever had to have her wings clipped, ever spoken up just to get shut down. Let's get these ducks in a row and a double barrel angel shot for every motherfucker who thinks they own the sky, because just maybe women wouldn't constantly have to evolve to survive if we did once.
Woo! Damn, Chev.
That's how you walk off.
Waddle off like a duck.
Yes, I
Quack,
love
quack.
hearing and the quacking.
We don't claim ducks here. We are a strictly chicken family.
I prefer the platypus, but for those who don't know, I have several poems about the platypus. And you know, they have things like a duck. Cool, awesome. We have scores to read. So the protected poet got a 25. Boo the score. Cheer the poet. Everyone cheer.
Ooh, let's go. Anyone but the AI.
Bravissimo.
Exactly. Anyone but Sally. Yes,
Quack,
I agree,
quack.
Prophet. Everyone competing tonight is hella dope. Chev, thank you for gracing our virtual stage. I'm glad you're here. And I hope all of you all come back next month, or if you're in the Bay Area, come to our in-person shows. But Chev's score was a 29.9. I almost want to boo that for not being a perfect 30. But
Come on now.
for the poet.
Whoever gave a 9.9 is a hater.
Exactly. Whoever gave the 9.9 is insecure about their penis in comparison to a duck.
Some people just don't like ducks. What can we say?
I know. That's okay. Ducks are kind of really mean and vicious. But before I announce our final rankings and our final scores, I have more announcements to make. So we already heard about the Berkeley Slam this Wednesday, which is tomorrow. But if you want to do A lot more writing. This month, we have 2 more Make Gold workshops left. These happen Thursdays on Zoom at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you are somewhere in between, it is somewhere in between 6 and 9 p.m. for you. If you are outside of those time zones, I'm sorry, I'm not a global clock, but you can look up what that converts to for your time. This Thursday, we have Ashia Ajani hosting the workshop around the theme Storytelling Our Climate Futures. As an environmental justice nerd, I'm very excited for that. And the next one is Thursday, the 25th, hosted by Kelsey Daniels, around writing as time travel. Also very cool and very excited for that one. We also have, and these are just our shows for the month for like the next round of them. And I don't have them memorized. I have them written down. I have a calendar full of poetry events. Make sure you're following us on social media to stay up to date and see more information on when all these are happening. And if you were like me and forget about something the minute you set something down, you'll want to see it and when it comes up. Berkeley Slams tomorrow, the 17th, Colin, the 24th, same time, same place. Zach Goldberg is the feature. And the 31st, which is the last Wednesday of the month, we have our Berkeley Slam team featuring. Let me tell you, I'm very excited for this team. I was at finals. I got to see them compete. I got to see them get chosen. It was a wonderful combination of poets just across the board. And I'm very excited to see what they do and grow as a team. And I'm very excited to see their feature online because I'm not local to the Bay Area. But if you're local, go see them in person. It will be a much cooler experience, I'm sure.
Berkeley team.
Huh?
Berkeley team.
Yes, Berkeley team. We also have an open mic on the 1st and 3rd Saturday of the month, which means we have an Alchemy Open Mic this Saturday. It happens on Instagram Live at RichOak Alchemy. We will post something for it later this week, and we will also have a sign-up list going out the morning of the show. Sign up. It helps us kind of figure out time frame for things, but you can also hop in the live and drop us a comment and say, hey, I'd like to join, and we will add you to the list. We also have, as if we don't do enough, we also have Daydreamers Poetry on the 2nd Saturday of the month. So we have already had one this month. So our next one is June 10th at 4 p.m. and it's held at Medicine for Nightmares in San Francisco. Follow us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, at Berkeley Slam, at Oakland Slam, at RichOak Alchemy, and we post all of this information for you to remind you of when they are coming up and for you to also see all of the other cool things we've done. Who's ready for scores and to find out who won this money?
Hey!
Yay!
Yay!
Wait, did you say
Let's
score?
go poet.
Yes, I did say scores.
Oh.
Did you say money?
I did say money. We pay our artists. I wish we had the ability to give everyone who came here $1 million. I wish I had the ability to give myself $1 million, but I don't, and that's okay. But we are able to pay our artists because of our generous supporters from Patreon. Oh my goodness, you can donate to us at patreon.com/RichOak Events. And we are a tax deductible donation. So you'll get a summary from Patreon at the end of the year that's like, here's your donations. Isn't this cool? And you can write it off on your taxes. I'm not an accountant. Go ask one of your own for more details and figure it out. But we will have some very exciting things for supporters at Patreon. So can I get a drum roll for 3rd place? Cool. In 3rd place with a total score of 50.3, we have Protected Poet.
Good work, bro.
already left. That is okay. It's late. In second place with a 55.4, drum roll for Billy Tuggle. Woo! Thank you for joining us. Do you have anything you would like to share, announce, etc.?
I missed the Bay. I hope to come back live to the Starry Plow in next winter when my real book comes out. But if you want some stuff, hit me up on IG or FB. The secret code word is Backpack Files. Shout out to the Berkeley Slam.
Woo, thank you. I will keep an eye out for your
Billy.
I also miss the Bay Area. I'm also not in the Bay right now, and that's okay. And in first place, we all know who it is, but we're still going to do a drum roll because I like this bit. In first place, with a 57.9, give it up for Chev. Woo!
Woo! Quack, quack.
Not quite, quite.
Great stuff, man.
Next month when we see you, we're all just going to quack instead of cheer.
Never gonna forget the duck poem.
Don't worry, I will forget to quack, but I will remember your duck poem. Congratulations. Do you have anything to shout out, promote, plug, etc.?
It's always just a pleasure to share space, dog. Like, I ain't selling nothing today. Just glad I got to share some poems, and it's dope getting to see Billy Tuggle out again. I ain't seen him like a year ago. That's wonderful.
Word.
It is always great to see folks online and in person. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations to Chev for winning $50 US. Thank you to Chev and Billy Tuggle and Protected Poet for gracing our virtual
Hey, go all the poets. Woohoo.
Yes, more cheering while I figure out the date for the next Oakland Slam. That's the one I didn't write down.
Woo! Good job, guys.
Yay!
Hey, yo, Asha was fantastic.
Yes, exactly. Give it up.
Yes, go Asha too.
Buy Asha's book.
Absolutely, she was fantastic.
Yes. Our next Oakland Slam is Tuesday, June 20th. I hope to see you there. Come to our events in the meantime. My cat is screaming, so I have to go take care of her. But thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will see you at other events around the area.
Thank you, Nicole. Thanks for the host.